at my home here in Fargo, North Dakota. But I got a relatively nice day, so the project for today is to bury these grills. I don't know if I can turn this around and get you guys a better view here or not, but see what we got here. But anyway, so that's the plan, is to see if we can kind of get a little bit of snow around here, but a little sunshine. So we're gonna see if we can't do something about part of this deck to make things a little bit more livable around here. So hang with me, and we'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye. Hey, Anthony Hendrickson here, coming at you once again. Like I said in the earlier video, we'll see how much of these we keep on and not, but relatively nice day here in Fargo, North Dakota, so figured I would do a little project outside to kind of further things along. But if you see here, I got a little, almost 40 degrees, I believe. Yeah, about 39. But anyway, a lot better than negative 15 on the way to the gym the last couple of mornings. So time to do a little snow removal, I think. So bear with me, stay tuned, and we'll see you here shortly. All right, well, here we are back on the little patio here. Looks like we've had quite a bit of melt here, but being kind of nice. But mission dig these guys out of the snow so we can use them. So I had a brutal snap, got pretty cold for a couple of days, but we're gonna try to dig these out and try to do a little smoking on the old Traeger and maybe doing some grilling on the old Weber over here. So stay tuned with me. I should have brought my tripod out so I could video the process, but I think we'll still be able to do okay. So stay tuned for the next video and we'll keep you updated. All right, well, making a little progress, and as you can see, it's getting a little darker here. I was able to get these things cleared out a little bit, as you can see, a little bit less snow. I'll see if I can. So, got a couple piles behind us and got it dug out so far. So, as you can see, we're burning daylight pretty quickly. So now that we have a little room to work, got it cleaned up a little bit, and now probably have to find some more light. We'll continue the process, and what we actually call this process is going to be a reverse sear. So since we are going to be using this Traeger right behind me over here, if you can see it or not, but this will be the machine that we're using. And what we're going to do with it is we're going to kind of not traditionally sear the steak, but since we are using a smoker, what we're going to do is we're going to do light smoke. We're going to do about a half hour on each side. Could be pretty good sized steaks too. So what we're going to do is half hour on each side. Once we're doing that, then we're going to pull them off. We're going to crank up the Traeger itself. We're going to get that as hot as we can get it. And then we're going to come back and we're going to do 10 minutes on each side. And then after that, we're going to pull it out and let it rest for 10 minutes. After all this process is complete, we're going to have what I think is probably the best steak you can find out there. So bear with me. Might be doing a little artificial lighting, but we're gonna make the process work, so we'll see you soon. Guys, welcome back. So now where we're at here, we're just gonna do a little seasoning. So I have these ribeyes that we have here, and I'll include some more directions as to what size and all the temperatures that we're looking at too. I'll do that all at the end, but these I picked up at the grocery store or from the butcher here earlier today. Brought them out. I want to make sure that we get to room temperature. That way the entire steak is, you know, not cold in the center, not frozen, nothing like that. Same temperature all the way through. That way we know that the meat that we're cooking is consistent. That way we can get it done and prepared the way we'd like it. So really simple. We're going to let the Traeger do pretty much all the work here. We're going to give it a little bit of TLC before we take it out to the actual smoker. Going to keep it real simple. We're going to keep it with olive oil. I just use extra virgin olive oil, so whatever kind that you'd like. Black pepper, so you can do that to taste. That's just a personal preference of mine, not a necessity by any means. And then we're just going to stick with some prime rib, actual Traeger seasoning. Like I said, I'm going to go pretty light with all of them. The black pepper's more so for more of a presentation, look good when we're all said and done. But that is the way I'm going to be seasoning it. You can do less, you can do more. It's kind of to whatever liking that you would like it. So just going to take the pieces of meat here, toss them in. I just like to do a little bit of olive oil on it. Get that going. A little seasoning for it as well. Like I said, we're just gonna, not really much. I don't even know if it's really a necessity. I'd rather under season it and over season it. Just let this machine do its thing, and honestly, I don't even know if seasoning is really a necessity, more so peace of mind. So, and then if we're gonna do some type, I have other grilling salts and things that I like to do for this demonstration. I just wanted to use the actual Traeger brand as well, keep things consistent and easy. So a little bit on each side is all we're gonna do. Alright, give a little more olive oil as well. I think we have plenty there anyway. So this is going to be a reverse sear technique that we're going to do on the smoker as well. And like I said, I will include more of the actual directions as far as heat, where we're going to be. I'll run you through as much as I can. We were fighting daylight earlier, and now it's even worse. So we'll have to have some, we'll have to take some light out with us. So like I said, I'll include the directions as well. That way you're not running around trying to see this video. So these steaks have been out for probably a couple hours now, so probably 2-3 hours, something like that. Just kind of getting it to room temperature. That way the entire piece of meat is all one temp. And then we're going to take it out to the smoker and get her going. It's going to be a longer process, like I said. We're going to do with this, depending on what size of steak you're doing, with this ribeye that we're doing here, we're going to do, and I know it's going to sound like a lot, but bear with me here. We're going to do about a half hour on the first side. We're going to flip it, do a half hour on the second side, and then we're actually going to pull them off, get that machine as hot as we can get it, depending on your machine and depending on what you're using to cook with, as far as your pellets and things like that, will determine as to how fast we're going to be able to get it up to temp. But we're going to move it along pretty quick. And then once we actually take them off, we're going to let it rest for about another 10 as well. So, and like I said, I will include all these directions so you don't have to be writing them down or memorizing them or anything like that. So hang with me now, and we're going to actually move outside. All right, here we are back at it. Gets dark early around here this time of year, so we're making do. So hopefully the lighting's somewhat okay. Got a little light set up here, hopefully that's doing some justice, and then I got my little patio lighting too as well. So if you see some smoke going on behind me, that's the actual Traeger that I was speaking about earlier too. We had some other shots you might have saw in the background with the cover on, but what this is it's actually a Pro Series 34 pellet. They call it the Traeger Blue. What happened now, or what's going on now is I just started it up, the hopper's loaded up, ready to go. We're using just the signature blend Traeger brand pellets, so that's what we're going to be smoking with today. Here's once you start it up, and you can look at all kinds of stuff for Traeger stuff, but right now I put it on smoke, and right around 5 to 10 minutes I usually leave the cover open, let it smoke for a while, and there's the actual front of it, so you can see that as well. But that's kind of what we're using. That's going to be our machine here for the day. Let me see if I can get a little better shot of it for you there. So that's going to be our device that we're using. Yeah, the other stuff that we're using as well is we have a little fire going on out here trying to keep us warm. And then the most important is in the background there. Those are our ribeyes still chilling, got a nice temp on them. And then also the bottle of wine. Like I said, this process is a lengthy process. We're looking at close to an hour and a half to cook those ribeyes. I guarantee you in the long run it's going to be worth it. So hang tight. We're just going to let this smoke for just another minute or two, and then we're going to throw the ribeyes on there, and we're probably ready to go. Yeah, let me just check here. Good temp. We're just on the smoke cycle right now. We're sitting at about just over 100 degrees. We're probably going to get in between 110, 120, something like that is where we're going to be here real quick, and then we'll kind of move on from there. Actually, we're gaining steam as we go, so we're probably ready to put the ribeyes on right now. Once we go back to this Traeger too. The other thing that I kind of wanted to talk to you guys about, you can see how large this unit is. This unit is, I've only been cooking not even for a year. I've been smoking with this machine. I've had other ones previously as well. This one, the actual, I want to give you the diameters of it. So it's 49 inches in height, just so you know if you have room for it. You can also Google this on the Traeger website. You got 53 in width. It's a 136 pound unit, and then the actual depth of it is going to be 27 inches here. So we have room for all kinds of meat to get on there. So good for any occasion. And actually, one of my first, or when I was actually upgrading to this unit, one of the things I was concerned about was cooking something like steaks on it. So that's actually where I came up with this and actually found this method. Actually, a friend of mine was the one who kind of turned me on to it. I've done it now with a couple of times. I did it just last weekend with some T-bones as well. I don't always eat T-bones, but those ones were amazing. So yeah, looks like the Traeger's ready. I think we can throw the ribeyes on. We're gonna throw the ribeyes on. So right now we're cruising at about 212 degrees for a good smoke. Let me just try to get this angle a little bit better so you can see what I'm doing here. Nothing special. Alright, now the fun begins. I'm going to set my timer. I'm going to put it on a half hour into 30 minutes. I think these steaks are actually probably, might be a little long, might stick her to about 25, but like I said, I'll keep all the direction as to how I'm going through this all right at the end. That way it's all in one spot. And like I said before, it's a lengthy process. So now I have a nice bottle of Cabernet that I'm going to go find a wine key. I'm going to open that up and hang out here by the fire for a while and smell the smoke. So, well, welcome back. Now my timer just went off. I think we're ready for the actual turn. So let's see what kind of an angle we have here. Try to keep you guys involved as well. Turn down maybe. All right, so we're sitting at about 185 degrees right now. It's been 30 minutes on one side, so now we're just gonna give them a flip and do 30 on the other. Right around that, probably gonna float around 200 somewhere. I don't know, I think we're probably maybe 20 degrees out right now, Fahrenheit. So that's kind of where we're at in the smoking weather, but it seems to still hold temperature pretty well. So I think we're doing okay. So now we're gonna give it another 30 minutes and see where we're sitting in. All right, we'll be back. All right, welcome back, guys. So that's another half hour done. So now we've had them on for a half hour. We flipped them another half hour here, so they've seen both sides of smoke for the half hours. Now, what we want to do is we want to pull them off. We're going to crank up this Traeger as far as we can get it. We're going to try to see how much heat we can get it to produce, and then once we get it up to the point where we can get it as hot as we can, then we're going to put them back on. We're going to try to sear them. Now, keep in mind we're dealing with the smoker here, so it's not going to be quite as hot as a lot of your grills and things like that. I do have a Weber behind us that we could use that for searing, but I want to just keep this down to the smoker technique. So for those of you that only have the smoker technology, you can go ahead and cook this perfect steak on there. So what we're going to do is grab our bowl here again. Move things over here so you can see what's going on. Take these guys off. Oh, they're looking good already. Yeah. Crank this up as far as we go. So now with this model, actually kind of says that 375 is the top notch for it, and then there is a high switch after that. So yeah, it's probably going to be about 450 or so, maybe 500 degrees give or take, depending on. It is pretty chilly out here this evening, so I don't know if we're gonna quite get there, but we're gonna see what happens. So, and then like I said, we're gonna go for 10 minutes on each side once again, and then after that, we're gonna let it rest for about 10 minutes inside, and then we're gonna cut into it. We're hoping for right around medium or so. Like I said, all these temperatures and all these times are adjustable, so depending on how you like your steak cooked, as well as anyone else you might be cooking for, you're going to want to adjust these. So I'll make sure I do a play-by-play analysis as far as times and temperatures and everything else. These Traegers, or this particular model, does have a built-in probe, so you can actually keep an eye on whatever type of meat that you're doing. In this case, since we're doing steaks, I'm not going to worry about that too much. If I was doing something larger, like a brisket or maybe like a prime rib, rib roast, something like that, then I would be using the actual probe to make sure that we knew what was going on. But since this is not that large of a cut of a meat, we're just kind of going with what we know works. So, all right, well, we're going to let this thing get hot, and we'll come back out here and throw it on. Here we go. We're on the last leg, or two anyway. So now where we're at is we just turn the Traeger up as high as we can go, let it sit there for a while. We're over 400 degrees. We're probably right around 425 and still kind of climbing. We're just going to kind of keep the process going. After we actually get the ribeyes on there, we might generate a little bit more going on in there. We might get some more heat out of it, but judging with the temperature out right now and things like that, we're just going to kind of go with it rather than stand out here all night long. So yeah, so we're going to do it we're going to sear it on the one side, and keep in mind, you know, we're not searing at the 5, 6, 700 degree temps like some grills will do. We're just going to do the best that we can with the actual Traeger model. So if we can get her up around 450 or 475, I think we're going to be more than impressed with the way they turn out. So here we go. Here's our ribeyes here. Looking pretty good right now. I'm going to try to get this lid open and closed about as quick as I can. One side we're going to leave it for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to flip it and do the same thing. And then, like I said, hopefully we generate a little bit more heat inside the grill with the fat from the ribeye. So here we go. Like I said, it's a process, so we're going to try to enjoy ourselves while we're waiting for the process. So along with that, it's like I said, I'm having a nice Cabernet with my ribeye. It's what I like anyway, so I hope you find something that you enjoy while you're doing the process as well. Kind of on the final home stretch here, so we just had it on the first side for 10 minutes. Right now the Traeger is kind of hovering right around about 430, 435, somewhere in there. So we picked up a little bit more heat, but not a lot. Should be enough to get to where we want to go though. So we're gonna give it one more flip, and then what we're gonna do is just take it inside. I'm gonna probably wrap it in some foil, cover it up there. We're gonna let it rest for about 10 minutes, get those juices back flowing, and then we're gonna be ready to eat. So we're gonna give it a flip now. Oh yeah, getting some good color there. Not sure if you can see it or not. We got some grill marks going. They're looking pretty good. Get that close. We don't let too much heat out. So, like I said, we're just gonna give it another 10 minutes on this side. I'm gonna just wrap it up in foil, take it inside, and then we're gonna rest for 10. So, we're just getting ready to pull off the ribeyes now. So what we're gonna do now is just pull them off, sear it on both sides. We're going to take them inside, let them rest for 10 minutes, and then we're going to devour them. So let's see what they look like. Oh yeah. So you can kind of see what we're doing here. We got some good color with them, even though we weren't searing them at, you know, several hundred degrees like we normally would on a traditional grill. So I'm gonna grab my the rest of my buddies over here. And we're gonna head inside and let them rest for about 10 minutes, and then we'll come back to things, see how they're looking, and go from there. All right. What we've all been waiting for. So, like I said, kind of a time-consuming process. Took us about, almost an hour and a half to cook these guys. So now we get to enjoy it. So if you see here, like I said, we weren't cooking with quite the most heat ever. So, but I think we got the job done. Mission accomplished for what we were trying to do. And once again, like I said, I will make sure that I put all the temperatures and things like that, and all the details in on this as well. So now we're just gonna kind of get into it and see, like I said, see what kind of smoke rings we get. And oh yeah, plenty cooked. Probably a little bit overdone for my liking. Like I said, we weren't kind of a test run here as far as this particular steak with this size is a little bit smaller than what I'm used to. Still though, with the smoke that we have, I don't think we're gonna go wrong with it by any means. So now we gotta give her a little test. Oh, yeah. That is good. You can see the great smoke flavor. Like I said before when we were doing the seasoning, I don't think we're over seasoning it by any means. It doesn't taste that way. I think we're better off just letting the Traeger do the work. I think less is more as far as when the seasoning goes. So yeah, that's kind of our first shot here at the reverse sear method for a ribeye steak. This will be one of a couple of videos I think I would like to do. This is fun. I enjoy doing this. So be sure to look for more stuff in the future. As far as other things go, I'm also gonna, you feel free to comment below. You can subscribe to my page and also make sure you hit that bell for notifications. That way you stay up to date with what we're doing and when. Try to do some more of this stuff, and then also along with this, I also would like to, have a toast here with a glass of wine, and I do offer some other types of content besides this as well. So I can either attach that below, or if you're looking for something, feel free to comment on it. I can send you over. I have all kinds of other resources, pairing guides for food and wine. So if you're really not sure what you like to do or what you should be eating with the steak, I have solutions for that. Also have dinner check party types of material as well. So kind of whatever you need, whatever you're looking for. If I don't have it, I could always come up producing something like that as well. So I'm always looking for any type of comments or feedback or just wondering what you guys want out there. So this is kind of my first shot at using the Traeger here on YouTube. So thank you guys for chiming in and for going along with this process with me. Like I said, I know it's not the fastest process, but it's definitely worth it in the long run. So I recommend this unit and I recommend this method. And yeah, can't wait to do this again. Hope to see you guys soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.